Does America have two Independence Days? You've been celebrating the 4th of July your whole life without knowing that freedom left a few behind? Then this video will change how you see American history. I'm the real Cameron E, and this is the real freedom story. Picture this, it's July 4th, 2016. I'm 15 years old, and I'm scrolling through my Instagram. My feed is full of fireworks, cookouts, all things that symbolize the 4th of July and freedom. But then I stumble upon this post where someone says they're not celebrating the 4th of July because they weren't free until Juneteenth, 1865. And then I freeze. I'm like, what is Juneteenth? Wait, does America have two freedom days? Why was this never taught in school? And why is this not a national holiday in the United States? And in that moment, I was so angry. I felt like the 4th of July was the 4th of July. I didn't understand that a holiday that my family and I celebrated so regularly didn't necessarily include us back in 1776. And it sent me down a rabbit hole of questioning everything that I knew about American history and American freedom that I've been taught. And what I found out will change how you see it too. So, let me ask you, who was really free in 1776? Let's go back. I'm talking July 4th, 1776. The Declaration of Independence is being drafted by 5 men, and Thomas Jefferson is leading the charge. In this declaration, he's declaring that all men were created equal with the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. But here's a contradiction. The document that promised liberty was signed by men who enslaved others. 25 of the 55 men that drafted the Constitution enslaved Black people, and 10 of the first 12 U.S. presidents enslaved Black people. That means that around the time where George Washington was elected to be the president of the United States, the democracy wasn't so representative. So when we celebrate July 4th, 1776, what we don't realize is that we are celebrating that freedom was not available to everybody in the United States. Fast forward, June 19th, 1865, and we're in Galveston, Texas. Union troops are finally telling enslaved Black people that they were freed by the Emancipation Proclamation. But it's been 2.5 years since the Emancipation Proclamation was even signed. Why the delay? Because those that were enslavers refused to let the ones that they enslaved know about their freedom because of the threat it could cause their profit and their economic stability. So Juneteenth wasn't the day that Black Americans got their freedom in the United States. It is one of the many emancipation days where Black Americans, long overdue of course, finally learned about their freedom. Frederick Douglass once said this, "Our past was slavery. We cannot recur it with any sense of complacency. The duty today is to meet the questions that confront us with intelligence and courage." Y'all, these days aren't history. Juneteenth 2025 marks the 160th anniversary for when people in Galveston, Texas learned about their freedom. And 2026 next year will mark the 260th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence. These anniversaries force us to face a hard truth that the founding fathers knew that slavery was wrong, and yet when they inherited from the British, they decided to protect this system. That contradiction didn't end in 1776. It didn't end in 1865, and it did not end in 1965. We are still seeing the repercussions of that decision in our United States of America today. And not only that, we see more efforts today to erase this history. There have been attacks on DEI, teaching the truth and telling the full story of our founding fathers. But I don't think that the problem is that we've talked too much about race in history in the United States. I think it's that we've never told the full story. Understanding who was really free in 1776 helps us identify the systems that are baked into our democracy and why we're still fighting to fix it. Independence and emancipation are not the same thing. America won its independence in 1776, but Black Americans didn't receive their emancipation until 1865. And even then, it was often delayed, denied, and incomplete. So here's my ask for this series. From Juneteenth to the 4th of July, don't just celebrate, investigate. I want you to ask some really hard questions to your families and your friends. What stories was I never told in school? Who wasn't free when I thought everyone was? And how does that history show up and impact my community today? Because if we want a better democracy by 2026, we need to start telling the truth in 2025. And the Real Freedom Story series is all about asking and answering these hard questions so that we can get to a better future. I'm the real Cameron E, and my educator activist era turning history into action. Hit that subscribe button because the only way we build a better democracy is together. Let me know in the comments, what is something new that you learned from this video today? And if you're ready to start these conversations in your community, hit the link in the description and get you one of these "Who Was Really Free in 1776" t-shirts. Because real change starts when we start asking real questions. Next episode, we'll be diving into the Emancipation Proclamation. What did it really do? And what didn't it do?